In this video, I'm going to tell you a secret. I am actually going to spill the beans. In my IELTS test, I used 2 psychological principles from this book to influence the IELTS examiner and get a high band. And I kid you not, this book, Thinking Fast and Slow, is written by Daniel Kahneman, who is a Nobel Prize winner. And the methods that I used, which are described here, have been scientifically proven, tested, and replicated. And I used them in my IELTS strategy, which definitely contributed to the fact that I went from 6.5 to 8 in my IELTS speaking just in 3 months. So if you want to find out about these psychological principles, stick around. Since some of you requested this in this video, I'm going to focus on the IELTS speaking part 2. More specifically, when you are given a cue card or a task card. You will have 1 minute to prepare, and then you need to talk for 1 to 2 minutes about that specific topic that's described in the cue card. Some of you mentioned that it might be difficult to generate ideas. You're not really sure how to use that 1 minute to prepare. So we will take a look at a real example from the IELTS test. You will see how I go about breaking down the questions and constructing my answers. So I will highlight some of the key methods and techniques that I use. After that, I will explain the psychological tricks that are embedded in my answer and the way how I deliver it. So now let's take a look at this example. So this is a cue card that can come up in the IELTS test. I will have 1 minute to prepare, so let me show you how I go about constructing my answer. I hope the handwriting is clear. I apologize for my handwriting. The budget is not enough, so we couldn't print it out. So basically, this is the cue card that you get given in the IELTS test. You will see me doing that in how I would do it actually if I was literally right now in the exam. So I will set my timer here, 1 minute. And then, okay, I'm gonna start. Okay, my 1 minute is up, so that's pretty much it. All right, so I will explain to you a little bit here what I did so you get a clear idea. First of all, this is my opening sentence or my opening expression, and it's very, very important, and I will tell you later why. But I wrote down to go down memory lane, and I will put it in red here because it's very important. It's actually an idiom. So I'm starting off with an idiom, and I will explain to you later why. Here I answered the first question, who they are. So it's Pablo and where, and I met them in Finland. You will get to find out in the answer, but here I tried to write down the main key points that will help me construct the answer. You don't have to write every sentence down, but you just need these key points that when you look at them, you know exactly what you need to say. Here I hadn't met. I tried to think of, this is the past perfect, which is a different tense. So I try to use a different tense. This one here, vividly, is an adverb that I can use. And get along with is a phrasal verb. And here I didn't write down the whole sentence, but I tried to come up with something that I could say that's a complex structure. And for me, the conditional is always very easy to actually incorporate. So this is the conditional, and it is basically a complex structure. And then the closing is also very important. I put the verb to reminisce, and I think this is like a fancy word, an advanced word. And I have, you probably cannot read it, but the good old days. And this is another idiom. I made a previous video where I actually highlighted that you should try to incorporate these different elements in constructing your answer. We have an idiom, an adverb, a different tense, which is the past perfect, a phrasal verb to get along with, and try to put a sentence where you throw a conditional. This is a complex structure. And then in the closing, I have an advanced word and then another idiom. And these two, remember, are very, very important, and I will get to that a bit later. All right, so now I'm going to use my notes to deliver the answer. I will also set the timer again. So I will set it to 2 minutes and then I will start. Right, let's go. Thank you for this interesting question. It actually took me down memory lane. So I'd like to tell you about my Spanish friend Pablo. I vividly remember the very first time when we met, which was actually in Finland when I went on an exchange. When I first met him, I didn't really know what to think about it because I hadn't known any person from Spain, or I hadn't met someone from Spain before. But I think once we got to know each other, we instantly hit it off. So we got along really well and we became really good friends. And I think we became good friends because we were both away from our families and friends, so that definitely helped us bond together. And if I hadn't met him, my experience would have not been the same in Finland. So I'm really grateful to know a person like him. And yeah, we've always been in touch. He actually invited me to go and visit him in Spain, and I went there. And we're also planning in the future to go on another trip, so I'm really looking forward to that. But yeah, that's basically the person that I wanted to talk about. But thanks, it was a good question. It made me reminisce about the good old days. That was obviously shorter than 2 minutes, but it was for a reason. And now let me explain to you. If you paid attention, I started off my answer with an idiom, and I said it took me down memory lane. So this is an advanced idiom, and it's actually considered a C2 level. And it is a flexible sentence that you can actually use it with so many other cue cards that you get. You can use it with this type of question, or actually with this one, or even this one, or that one. It's very flexible, so you can actually use it for any of these questions. And then at the end I also closed off with reminisce, which is also an advanced word, and then another idiom, which is the good old days. Reminisce about the good old days. But let me tell you the reason why you should do that. First of all, our brains tend to actually remember the beginnings and ends, and that's what sticks the most in our brains. So the examiner, although they've been trained and they are looking for everything there, when you start off your answer very strong, you already give them a good impression, so that's gonna stick in their head. The second reason is, and it's actually what's mentioned in the book that I told you about, when you start off your answer very strong, you trigger what is known as the halo effect. In his book, Daniel Kahneman explicitly talk about this. He is basically a psychology professor at the university, and he talked about when he was grading his students' answers or essays or an exam. Usually when he started grading, if the first question was really good, it would actually influence the overall grade of that exam. Because if someone is giving you a good impression from the very start, from the get-go, that they are at an advanced level, then you will kind of like automatically, in our psychology, we will tend to ignore, even if they would make mistakes later on, we will tend to actually ignore those or not really pay too much attention to them, because we believe that person is already smart because they started off very well. And Daniel Kahneman literally say, when he was grading an exam, if there were like 2 essays, for example, in that exam, and if the student would give a good answer for one of the essays and a weak answer, the overall grade depends on which essay he would actually look at first. If he look at the strong essay first, he would give a really good grade overall, because that's gonna already set his brain on this halo effect, thinking that this student is good. But on the other hand, if he would start literally the same student, the same answers, if he would start with the weak essay or the weak answer, he will give him a worse grade overall. So I'm not making this up. This is, you can go to the book and you can read more about it if you are interested. So this is my advice to you. The first trick that I would give you is try to focus at the beginnings and then at the end, because when you start off really strong, you already trigger this halo effect, and then at the end, when you again close off very strong, you will reinforce the impression that you gave at the very start. And since that's what they will remember the most, you will most likely get a good grade. So this principle works also for the writing. Make your introduction very strong and also your conclusion at the end also really strong. Now, the reason why I talked for less than 2 minutes in my answer is because I utilized a principle that is known as less is more. So let me explain to you how this principle works. In the book, researchers conducted an experiment. They brought in 2 groups of people and then they tried to sell them dinnerware. And by dinnerware, I mean plates, cups, mugs, bowls, basically, you know, these stuff that are used in the kitchen. Now, there were 2 sets that they were trying to sell of dinnerware. There was set A, which had 40 pieces, and then there was set B, which had only 24 pieces. Now, in set B, all the items were in a really good condition. The thing is, set A had the exact same items that they were in set B, but on top of that, it had 16 more items. Now, the thing is, those extra 16 items most of them were broken. Now, when they tried to sell these 2 sets separately, the surprising thing is people offered to pay more for set B than actually set A. And they offered to pay $33 for set B while they only offered to pay $23 for set A, which doesn't really make sense, right? Because set A already had what's already there, and on top of that it had extra items. But since of these items were broken, it influenced like the overall value of that set. And to explain to you how it works with the IELTS test is, if you're trying to answer the question and then you give few words or few expressions that are strong, intact, really advanced, the examiner is going to give you a higher grade than if you talk too much, and although you include the exact same words, like the exact same expressions, but if you add extra, the broken items kind of like correlate with using basic language or the mistakes that you can make. And that's why you should try to keep it concise. But obviously, I'm not saying you should only talk for like 10 seconds and then stop there. No, you have to reach a certain threshold. So 1 minute 20 seconds, 1 minute 30 seconds is absolutely perfect. You don't have to worry about talking exactly for 2 minutes. And remember, less is more. Alright, coming to the end of this video, I hope that you learned something useful today that could help you in your IELTS journey. And I wish you best of luck. If you still have questions maybe related to part 3, so if you still need more advice on that, or you want to see me how I would tackle or how I would answer those questions. And thank you again for watching. I'll see you next time.